British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. Good morning, my name is Sia Forio, and these are your morning headlines to 10 o'clock. Community groups are demanding a full investigation into the death of Vanessa Renteria. Renteria was a mother to an 18-month-old girl and a Colombian refugee who was shot dead by Surrey RCMP last week. Surrey RCMP says the Independent Investigations Office of BC was notified on September 19th about the shooting. Officers were called to a home where a woman had reportedly barricaded herself in a room with a weapon and a child. The groups include the BC Civil Liberties Association and Battered Women's Support Services. A press conference is being held this morning by the community groups at the Surrey Library City Centre branch. With more on what is going on today, here is producer Nicholas Hauka.
Thank you, Sia. A 4.0 magnitude earthquake struck roughly 18 kilometers northeast of Victoria early this morning. The Vancouver International Film Festival kicks off today. Why FortisBC's application for a temporary use permit in Squamish has local residents up in arms. And how a First Nations community in Ontario has Canada's longest boil water advisory at 29 years and counting. Back to you, Sia.
New Westminster police say they're investigating a suspicious death of a woman whose body was discovered on Tuesday in the city. Police say officers were called to the 1400 block of Salter Street in the Queensborough area in the early evenings of September 24th about a sudden death report. According to investigators, that is when they found the body of a 38-year-old woman who died under suspicious circumstances. The department says it's now working with the integrated homicide investigation team to determine what happened. Police are not publicly releasing any other details for now. Vancouver urban planner Andy Yan says the NDP's recent housing promise to help people finance buying their first home comes up short for those who rent on low incomes. Yan says the housing finance program seems to be geared towards getting voters rather than dealing with renters on low incomes, the people with the most pressing housing needs. According to Yan, the plan would create a new floor price for homes in BC, though specifics about the party's pitch are still lacking. The First Nation community of Naskautuga in Northern Ontario has Canada's longest boil water advisory at 29 years and counting. Ryan Munoz twice tried to live in his First Nation home, but it was nearly impossible with young children.
And when I first lived here with my first relationship, we had so many problems in the house. It was moldy, it was broken down. We had to use a water heater, those little plug-in things, and then we had like containers with water, cold water, and we would put that water heater thing in there to warm up water just to give my son a bath, or even myself to take a bath. Like, took hours and hours, and then like we never had proper running water, and most of the time it's just kind of like my body or my kids. My son's body used to have like these little rashes, and it was nasty. Like you could tell the water was just disgusting.
Now Munoz and his family returned for a week to visit family and friends and reconnect with the land. But he prefers his new home in Thunder Bay, largely because of the water problem at home. Live Nation plans to build a massive outdoor stadium in Toronto's North End, and it could be open as early as next summer. Live Nation Canada executive Eric Hoffman says the new Rogers Stadium will have a capacity of 50,000.
This stadium will host mega artists, yes, but will also feature food and beverage offerings and fan experiences that resemble a first-class music festival.
These have been your morning headlines to 10 o'clock. Sia Forio, BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikki-King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikki-King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Achille, and this is your sports update to 10:10.
20 seconds left. Daniel Sprong back in across the Calgary line, makes a nice move. Sprong to the goal, to the forehand, he scores!
The Vancouver Canucks' Daniel Sprong tied the game with just 14 seconds left in the third period that segued the team to victory over the Calgary Flames 4-3 last night. Head coach Rick Tocchet said Sprong's offense is strong.
Yeah, he's just got that. He's got that knack to do that sort of stuff. You know, he can skate. So we just, there's a lot of things we can work with him to really make him complete. But yeah, that's a hell of a goal. Obviously, we know he can do that.
And then Canucks winger Jake DeBrusk scored a pair of goals, including the overtime winning goal. The Vancouver Whitecaps have won their third straight Canadian championship. The Caps edged Toronto FC 4-2 on penalties in the final last night at BC Place. Whitecaps head coach Vanni Sartini says the game shows his team's resiliency.
I think it tells you the moral quality of this team and the belief that we have now as a team.
Whitecaps goalkeeper Isaac Boehmer stopped 7 on-target shots in regulation and denied 2 more in penalty kicks. Toronto FC coach John Herdman says he's both gutted for and proud of his team.
But I thought we performed well enough to get a result in 90 minutes and fortunately weren't able to take the chances we had, and we put ourselves in that hole, which is penalties. You know, that's going to be a lottery.
Toronto has not scored a regulation time goal in its last 3 games across all competition. Canadian Olympic swimmer Maggie McNeil has announced her retirement at the age of 24. The 3-time Olympic medalist and world record holder took it to Instagram to share the news. In the caption, she says she's excited to begin the next chapter of her life and find out who she is outside of swimming. Canadian tennis player Felix Auger-Aliassime was defeated in the first round of the Japan Open to wildcard spot Nishioka. Auger-Aliassime has defeated Nishioka previously 4 out of their 6 meetings. More matches are on the way today, but no Canadians will be playing. It is a day baseball fans in Oakland have been dreading. This afternoon, the Athletics will play their last game in the city before moving to Sacramento and then to Las Vegas once a stadium is built. All efforts to keep the team in Oakland haven't worked out in their favor. Alex Stone from ABC News reports.
It's a sad day at the Oakland Coliseum, the giant concrete structure that so many A's fans grew up in, watching their team, the history, Catfish Hunters, 1968 perfect game, the Bash Brothers, Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire, Ricky Henderson stealing bases. Concession workers have no jobs after today.
It's more sadness, It's sad that they're leaving.
And in Oakland, there's anger at the owner of the A's for uprooting the team after 57 years. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the San Diego Padres 4-3 to move within a victory of claiming the NL West. Shohei Ohtani singled in the go-ahead run before stealing his 56th base of the season in the 6th inning. Ohtani says that he's energized by the division race.
I do agree. The fans and even within the team, I do feel like there's some sense of elevation when it comes to playing these meaningful games.
And the Toronto Blue Jays defeated the Boston Red Sox 6-1 to end a 5-game losing streak. Kevin Gausman pitched 6 strong innings for the win. He had a solid second half after a slow start to the campaign.
That shows that I'm on the right track, but, I'm only getting older, so I need to make adjustments and kind of, look at my workload and, kind of tweak some things.
And lastly, today marks the first round of the 2024 President's Cup. There will be 5 4-ball matches starting this morning. This has been your Sports Update to 1010. I'm Lauren Achille.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretanero.
And I'm Radhika King.